And now we're going to talk about what's coming next in Borderlands 4. We're going to show you some stuff, go through some stuff. But we're going to need some help, Randy.
That's right. So please welcome. Some of you guys might already know this gentleman. He's our narrative director for Borderlands 4, Sam Winkler, and our lead gear designer, Andrew Lynch. Come on out, you guys.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Andrew, this is your first time on stage at PAX.
Yeah, this is my first time at any PAX.
Wow, what do you think so far?
It's been great so far. Been loving it.
And you have the awesome role of lead gear designer. That means you make all the gear, but also guns, right?
Yeah. So part of what I do with my team, we work with a bunch of talented people in the company, making all the shields, rep kits, grenades, heavy weapons, and all those billions of guns.
If you like loot, it's the fault of him and his team.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
What's your favorite gun in Borderlands 4?
I haven't actually gotten it in my playthrough yet, but get to test all that stuff out. There's one called Asher's Rise that's a Malawan sniper rifle. I named that one after my dog, so I like that one a little bit.
That's fantastic. And let's take a look at where we're at in our timeline with content here.
Right, so the last time we showed this was at PAX West up in Seattle, and but we didn't have the DLC character filled in. Cash, who's coming out later. And I recently was up in Tokyo at the Tokyo Game Show and talked a little bit about this character. There's a lot of cool information about Cash online, and Cash is going to be coming later. You can also see on the timeline that we've got bounty packs and an Invincible Boss coming. And as you rewind, though, there's something coming up really, really soon, and that is our
first bounty pack.
The bounty pack that's themed around, in America we have Halloween, but it's kind of our creepy season. And I know there's some people trying to push that on you guys because they can sell shit. But, and so far you're not totally going for it. We don't care about that. We just think creepy's cool and spooky's fun. So we're leaning into that. And we've got the spooky season covered with Horrors of Kairos. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, first we're going to go into, let's do the first bounty pack.
The first bounty pack.
Oh, yeah.
What exactly is a bounty pack, by the way, for
Let's
new
talk
players
about
out here?
this. Yeah, a bounty pack is a bite-sized, just a sumptuous little caramel of a pack. And it's got some story missions. It's usually got a strong theme, as we're going to see here. And it's always centered around an NPC that we've already met. And we just get to do some fun stuff with them.
Yeah. And when he says bite size, there's a lot of fun gameplay
Some
here.
people have big mouths.
Yeah, it's not like one of our massive campaign DLCs that are sometimes as large as full games, but there's a lot of there's a chunky, meaty bit of fun here, and it's not just gameplay. There's story content too, which is great.
Who here wants to see some of this bounty pack? All right, let's roll it. All right, that's right around the corner. Andrew, unpack what we saw there.
Yeah, as we saw there, our first bounty pack is going to be how Rush saved a Mercenary day. And we're going to be teaming up with Rush. He's coming into this, a little homesick, a little nostalgic for some of the holidays he celebrated before, kind of crash landing on Kairos and getting stuck there. So he's venturing out to put together a celebration of Mercenary Day for the Outbounders that are also there with them, except for there's already someone in charge of holidays on Kairos.
And who would that be, Sam?
It's going to be Minister Screw, and he is all about the ba and the humbug. He doesn't like holidays, he doesn't like joy, he doesn't like presents, and he doesn't like you being alive.
So you got to deal with him. But when you do, there's that sweet loot. And that's what we really want out of bounty packs. And that's why Andrew's here.
We got some screenshots here showing you some of the environments. This is going to be a fun experience for players as this hits on November 20th.
One of the greatest things about finishing Borderlands 4 is we've kind of gotten really good at making it. And so making all this post-launch content is really a joy. We can just have fun with the tools and the systems that we've built this whole time. And I think that people that love Borderlands are going to have a lot of fun with the bounty pack and with all of the add-on content. And if you haven't played Borderlands yet, you're going to feel how much value is still coming with this game.
And Randy, Borderlands is all about loot.
It is about loot. That's
And we
pretty much
have
why we do it.
A lot of loot coming here.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff up here, and you can see some of it's shrouded in question mark because we kind of like to keep some surprises. But there's a lot of cool stuff, and it's not just cosmetic. There's also entirely new legendaries that are going to drop. Some of them are pretty. You know, we're going to see some broken builds maybe. We're going to see some stuff that's going to be nutty. But so much fun, and it's the loot alone makes the hustle worth it.
Andrew, you designed these guns, right?
Yeah.
Can you highlight one of them? Tell us what it does.
Yeah, there's that one way over in the bottom left over there. That's called the missile laser.
Missile laser is the name of the gun?
Well, now it is, I guess.
Narrative hasn't given it a pass yet.
Missile laser. All right, approved.
And what does it do?
So that has two different modes in it. One of them shoots out a big old salvo of homing missiles. That are
I
just
have
gonna...
a theory about the second mode now.
Yeah. It's probably correct.
Yes.
And the other mode is laser, and you're going to want to stick a whole bunch of sticky missiles onto your target, and then switch modes. And any enemy you hit with that laser is just going to blow up all those stuck stickies on there, and just deal a bunch of extra damage.
Awesome. And Randy teased this already. Spooky season.
Yes.
Kind of going out of order here on our holidays here in our presentation.
Forgive me, I went all the way to the beginning, and we decided to do. I forgot we decided to talk about the Mercenary Day first. My bad. But let's get into it. Let's get into
right.
Horrors of Kairos.
Yeah. Andrew, you want to walk us through this one too?
Yeah, our first seasonal event here is Horrors of Kairos. It's coming up later this month, starting October 23rd and going through November 6th.
October 23rd, you guys. That's like 12 days from now. Yes.
Here's some of the fun stuff you can unlock.
Yes, you know you want that.
Gorgeous.
You too can have a pumpkin head and run around Kairos as a jack-o'-lantern.
And then, Andrew, there's something interesting going on with the weather here.
Yeah, so during this event, all of our world bosses are going to have a kind of spooky variant on the weather effects that they can show up there. And I'll have a chance to drop this limited time event-specific loot.
Yeah, he's saying spooky weather. Like you guys know, in Borderlands 4, we built a dynamic weather system for the first time, and it's awesome. All kinds of cool weather events can happen, including rain. Sometimes in the Horrors of Kairos, it'll rain blood. That's gnarly. That's gnarly.
And we've already talked about this. We're bringing back Invincible Bosses. Sam, what's an Invincible Boss?
For those uninitiated, Kairos is full of badasses and
Bad arses.
bad arses. Sorry, flip up the mode. Yep. And these guys are the baddest arse of all. Invincibles are endgame level bosses, extra hard, even if you're at level cap. So you got to grind for some really great loot to beat them, and your reward is, of course, more great
More
loot.
loot!
Yep.
I think it's not baddest arse, it's bad arsist.
Bad arses.
Yes, I think that, yes.
And Andrew, you've been working on this DLC. Let's show people what this first boss looks like.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's bananas.
There it is.
That's a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell us who
Audrey
this
2
is.
sucks. This
Yeah,
thing's
this is-
gonna destroy it.
Yeah, this is Bloom Reaper the Invincible.
Bloom Reaper.
Bloom Reaper. So I'm not sure if that's really a fauna or flora, but it's the biggest one we got here on
Somewhere in between.
Kairos. Yeah, somewhere in between there. But we want to give the players kind of the hardest challenge we've got available so far.
This
So-
is an apex predator, and it's gonna turn carnivores into vegetarians because this thing needs to be eaten. It is, it's dangerous.
Get a little stir fry going.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
does it reside on Kairos?
So this is going to live up in the cliff sides and the spires, kind of in the mountains of Kairos. We're going to be fighting it up there, kind of on its home turf.
It's a new area players haven't been to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and maybe turf is a misnomer there because there's not going to be much turf around taking this guy on. When we're fighting him, we're going to be dashing and grappling and gliding between different platforms and plateaus, just trying to find some safe ground to stand on while we're trying to take this guy down.
And
And
Bloom
find
Reaper-
spots to even damage the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it drops dedicated loot.
Yeah, we've got about 5 pieces of gear coming from this guy.
Can you tease one? Or is that giving away too much?
Might be giving, yeah, we can give one away here. We've got one called Mantra that'll be coming out with this that is kind of themed around Amara. So we wanted one that kind of worked really well with some of the melee builds that we've been seeing out there. So this is going to be something that we think is going to work really well with there. You know, Amara used a lot of spiritual fists and stuff with her action
Wait, the
skills.
gun shoots fists?
It does shoot fists.
All right, that's awesome. I want to go dive into a little bit of the development of Borderlands here as we go forward. We're going to have a couple of the reveals in here as well. Sam, you worked on this for years, from pretty much the beginning. What is the first piece of dialogue that you wrote for the game?
That's a tough one. So I keep a notes app on my phone at all times of things a psycho would say, so that I don't shout them in a supermarket or something like that. And I think the first one that I wrote was, "I've got a new flavor, and it's you, mommy." Jim does that better.
You know, we're always looking at community feedback, listening to the fans, seeing what people are saying. Randy, what are some of the things you've been seeing out there lately?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is, you know, we make these weird, nutty games, and some people seem to like them, and it's pretty cool. It's like why we exist, to entertain people. Like literally why we fight is to try to create joy and happiness for people. And it's cool when we reach a lot of people because we get a lot of feedback and we hear things, sometimes even before we launch. And you know what? Believe it or not, we're always listening. And we exist to make people happy. And I know it's impossible to make everybody happy, but damn it, we try. And that's why we do things like adding the radar. Before we even launched the game, we had like really pounced on that, and some engineers and guys in UI really pushed it to get that in before we launched. And recently we added, because a lot of people told us they wanted it, a field of view slider on the console version of the game. You know, PC players were spoiled, we have that, but it didn't exist on the consoles until recently when we added that. And we love adding stuff. And we've got other things that we're working on. Like for example, photo mode. We've done photo modes in the past, and it takes energy and takes time, and we made the decision to prioritize that energy and time on game design, and we heard from some of you saying, bring back photo mode, we really love it. And you know what? It's pretty cool because I love it, and all of us love it when we see people who are loving our games being creative with it and using photo mode to create beautiful art and sharing that. And I think that helps too. I think that helps spread the word. And when we love something, it's awesome to spread the word and invite other people to join into it. So we're adding photo mode to Borderlands. It's coming, you guys. It's coming. Another thing that you know, some of us we're lucky or we're insanely passionate about gaming, and we have multiple platforms. I'm fortunate enough where I have a system where I can play on my couch on a console, and I can also play on my desktop, and I also have portable systems that I can take with me as I travel. And Borderlands has always, well, not always, but we committed to co-op gameplay, and we committed to crossplay. And of course, we launched with crossplay in Borderlands 4 because it's really awesome when people can play together, even when they're not on the same platform. But we've never supported cross-save, where I can take my progress that I've made on my PC and then bring it to my console game, or even if I'm having a portable system. And guys, we're bringing cross-save to Borderlands. Yes. And it's really, really exciting to be able to do it. And I love, when we launch, we've got so much energy going into all this great post-launch content, but we can also shift priorities to other things. And, it's so amazing to have launched Borderlands 4. I've been working on Borderlands for a long time. I with my friends, I founded Gearbox in 1999. And I had already been a professional game developer for many years by that point. And that was 26 years ago. And there are people that I work with every day that I've been working on Borderlands with since, I first set us towards that goal for over 20 years. And we're not perfect, but we're starting to get pretty good at some of this stuff. And but the world changes, And when I remember when, I come from a time when I remember when I was working on a video game called Duke Nukem. Anybody play Duke Nukem 3D? And our min spec was a Intel DX266. That's a 66 megahertz DX2 Intel chip. And our target for our min spec was 15 frames per second. And that was amazing back then, because when I played Doom on my 286, I had to shrink the screen down to be that big in order to get any kind of playable frame rate that was like 10 or 12 frames per second. And I come from a time where we cared about fidelity and we cared about resolution. And I also came from a time where we kind of had to learn, like I was a programmer, we're all programmers. But you know what? Not everybody is going to tinker with all the settings. Doesn't matter that we give all the settings. And if you buy a really high-end video card or you have a system performance, some people really want high frame rate. And so performance is a priority for us, and it's a priority for customers. So we've already delivered a whole lot of performance upgrades, and we've got more coming for our PC gamers to sort of solve some of that for you. So instead of expecting you to go in and do all the sliders yourself, we know some of you want to prioritize frame rate, and we're going to make that easy where you can flip switches and it just kind of does it for you, and you'll get more frames out of it without having to think about it. And that's important to us because we want to entertain everybody, even people that especially people, I think, that tell us they expect more from us. So we're here. This is literally why we exist, is to try to entertain you. So thanks. Yeah.
And Sam, I know you've been looking at the feedback as well relating to storytelling. Any interesting takeaways that you're seeing?
It's been great. It's been really good. I'll be honest, I'm really happy with it.
Isn't it weird to ship a game where like the biggest complaint isn't like how we fucked up the story?
Yeah, it's a relief for sure. Yeah.
Like there's literally like we're wondering like what is going like. Everybody's like, no, story's awesome, character, we love it, and gameplay's great, and we're like, God, I know there's got to, it's like, okay, we'll get technical. Cool, that's cool. I'm happy to live in that world.
I mean, like 6 years ago, we sat in a room and figured out what this game was going to be, and we stuck to it. Like that's hard to do.
We usually have a lot of drift.
Yeah, exactly. No,
but we knew what we wanted, and we felt what was going to work for the audience, and I'm really glad. Like, and you and the team just crushed it on the storytelling.
Well, thank you and thank everyone for playing it. It's been really, really heartening.
What was one of your favorite things to work on?
I got to, as narrative director, I kind of end up touching every. I mean, like we named a lot of guns together, but I had a big hand in the Terminus range and getting to work on the augurs and building out their culture, their history, their traditions.
Who's killed Vile Lictor? Yeah.
Get in there.
Who likes Defiant Calder? I love him.
He's a favorite of mine. Yeah, for
Sam worked on all
sure.
that stuff.
The naming conventions there that Randy's bringing up are interesting. How did those come to be? Defiant and Vile?
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's because I came up with a name for the villain first, and then I had to justify why he would call himself Vile. And that, you ask questions about the things that pop into your head, and you go, okay, interesting. This culture has this history of taken names about their personalities and their deeds. and that led to Defiant Calder and all sorts of. So we have a generative name system, so you'll see NPCs living their lives and sweeping the floors, and they have their own names, and there's always a backstory to how they got that.
I love Calder. I know a lot of people here love Calder. We're going to see him again, right?
Like I said, bounty packs, we're focusing on NPCs that we've met, and there's a lot of secrets under the mountain.
Heck yeah.
And Andrew, obviously, you're working on all sorts of guns and stuff for the DLCs. I think you might have finished up some of your work recently on some of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What can players expect there? Is there like a dream gun that you've always wanted to bring to the game?
Boy, there's a lot of guns we've kind of got in the backlog there. I know, when we're trying to figure out what guns we want to bring in there, some of it is looking at the past, what's going to work well moving forward. I know there's a handful on the docket from pre-sequel that were like, these are going to show up pretty soon. Yeah.
Pre-sequel!
For people at home, there's screams from the audience sometimes we're reacting to.
But also looking for kind of holes in our arsenal that like, we've made all these guns, but we don't have one of these. I think one of those examples might be like, we don't have a grenade launcher right now. So we're looking at adding one of those as a legendary for Bounty Pack 2, along with some of the pearlescence might show up then as well.
What we need is a talking gun with the voice of Crazy Earl.
We've got one of those coming.
Oh, who knew? Who knew?
Imagine.
I didn't see that coming.
And Andrew, I got to know, like, for a game about guns, how did you start thinking about throwing knives? How did that come to be?
One of the things we were trying to do for Borderlands 4 was kind of give every manufacturer, all of our 8 gun manufacturers, their own grenade as well. So we kind of had a really nice reference for Jacobs, which is one of the new ones because we didn't have that before, in some of the characters that we know from the past games. BL3, we met Wainwright Jacobs, the CEO and owner of Jacobs. So we kind of took a lot of inspiration from him. What would he use if he had a grenade, or maybe not a grenade? Maybe it's a big knife. So we kind of had a pretty good image in our mind of him holding a double-barrel shotgun with one hand and just a big knife in the other. So we kind of looked at that and moved forward with that idea.
And I'm realizing we're way over time here. Randy, any final thoughts for the community as we go forward here?
Oh man, I'm just so grateful that you guys are here and you care about the work we do, because we exist for you. Like literally our entire lives are dedicated to try to create joy and happiness for gamers. And we've dedicated our lives to video games, and the fact that you're here with us just means the world to me and everyone at Gearbox. So thanks so much for coming with us on this journey and for spending time with us. And let's bring Dan back out to take us home.
Summoned.